All right, as we take a moment to parse our lips, let us talk about main topic number 2. And before we start main topic number 2, are you a Twitter user?
Yes, I have a couple accounts, but I'm not a consistent tweeter.
Yeah, well, I unfortunately, I'm probably on Twitter too much now, and now I'm arguing with like some pretty dumb people, which reminds me why I'm not on Twitter that much anymore, or why I stopped for a while. Actually, the conversation got so bad today between someone that I actually was like, why am I even have my account activated? It's like, oh yeah, PS5 drops. That's why I'm on Twitter right now. Best way to find out whether the PS5 is still in stock so I can buy it and scalp it. Feel free to dislike if you want, but I'm saving for a house. But one of the appeals to Twitter, I think, is basically that it's free. If you stop and think about it, we all want a voice, and every time there's a new platform that lets you sign up for free and you can kind of share your thoughts and opinions, that always ends up being big. LiveJournal, oh, I can write a journal, but now it's public. And there you go. Then you have Facebook and MySpace. And Twitter was probably in some ways the most ingenious one. You could just put quick little thoughts out there as tweets, and anyone could sign up. But the one thing that has not really happened with social media is so far no one's really been charging for social media. No one charges for social media unless you want to advertise on social media or you want to create like a store, nothing like that. Well, Twitter is going to break new grounds because they have actually are introducing a paid subscription service, Twitter Blue. It's going to cost $3 a month. So let's look at this little article from Engadget. It appears Twitter may have unintentionally confirmed its plans for a subscription service. A $2.99 month in-app purchase for Twitter Blue, which I'm kind of surprised they're calling it Twitter Blue. This is just a side note. Twitter's already blue. Why don't you call it Twitter Gold or something like that? I don't know. Was added to the company's App Store listing, though the feature doesn't seem to be fully enabled yet. The update was spotted by app researcher Jane Manchin-Wong, who has previously uncovered details about Twitter Blue. According to images shared by Wong, the service includes an undo tweet feature, which I don't know if that's actually going to help, but we'll talk about that in a minute, as well as a reader mode that makes it easier to view long threads. It also adds additional customization options like new app icons. Twitter executives had previously spoken about creating features specifically for paid subscribers, but the company hasn't offered many details on pricing or what features may be included. And these are some, you can't, that opens a new window, so I can't open that, I guess. But these are some of the features that are going to be on it. Apparently, you can customize your app icon. You have some feature settings here, reader mode, collections, all that jazz. So, first of all, let's make something abundantly clear. Twitter is not going to all of a sudden force everyone to start paying $3 a month for their service. It's just not going to happen. But I think this might be a way where Twitter is slowly going to start moving to a subscription-based model. And I personally see a lot of pros to Twitter being a paid-for service. I think that would reduce the amount of dummy accounts, because now to have a bunch of dummy accounts, it's going to cost money. I think it holds people who are abusive and toxic and spread bad information, maybe even deliberately so. It makes it much easier to track them down and maybe persecute them if, for example, they say dox you on the website and get it trending. And then maybe you can actually easily trace who started that information and put your life in danger. Maybe. Also, maybe it'll get rid of a lot of just the freeloaders, the people who are not using Twitter as an actual tool for their job. They're just doing it to spout anti-mask stuff or whatever you want. Maybe talk about Pizzagate. But then also, so I don't know, those are some of the few good things I can think of. What do you think about this? And can you think of some pros and cons of yourself for actually paying for Twitter? And would you pay for Twitter?
I don't think I would, honestly, because I don't use it that much. Paying for social media would sure be kind of a big thing. I mean, there's a reason why, Facebook has grown to the status that it has. It's because it's always been free. Anybody can have it. And it's got, millions, billions of users, I'm sure now. Worldwide, it's so accessible. Very usable by pretty much anybody. And then you've got, Instagram, of course, which has grown quite a bit as well, owned by Facebook, as many of us know. It's difficult, I think, to want to pay for it unless maybe you're already making money off of it. I mean, if you're already monetizing your Instagram account, like maybe you're one of those really hot Instagram model girls who's like 19, 20 and, posts like a photo, outside or, in some outfit like every day. And you've got like, 1 million followers or 500,000 followers. You'd probably make money off of your account. I'm sure a lot of those ladies are, whether it's from, just people clicking on their, little maybe ads that they have in their Instagram stories and going to the website, or just from people sponsor them, say, hey, if you, post something, if you post yourself wearing this outfit, our new, fashion accessory line, and you tag us, we'll give you, $1,000 if you keep it for a week. I mean, yeah, somebody like that, maybe, who's making money off of Twitter somehow could possibly see it worthwhile because they want to keep that revenue source going. They want to keep their account going because they're, they've monetized it. Yeah, what's $3 a month to them? I mean, that's nothing, if they're making good money off of it. Somebody who just kind of uses it here and there, or to spout off, like you said, maybe racist comments or anti-religious comments, or maybe just to be a Karen. Yeah, it might be good to weed those people out. People like that are just really annoying. But someone like myself who will maybe just like post a thought here and there, or will share something really like interesting or a funny article, or maybe post, hey, here's a link to my new video. I don't think I use it enough to the point where it would make sense to pay for it. So I think it depends on, how much the person uses it and what they use it for.
I could envision a future for Twitter where anyone can read Twitter for free. But if you want to tweet out itself, then you pay for it. And really, when you talk about $3 a month, you're talking about $36 a year. I mean, I think most people can afford that. And it's just whether or not it's worth anything to them to do it. But I could see a scenario where basically people can just read Twitter, and at that point, Twitter becomes like even more of a promotional platform because anyone can look at those tweets. But if you want to actually engage with those tweets, then you have to pay for it. I think the one funny feature that they've got on this thing that I don't know if that's actually going to do anything is the undo tweet feature, because I thought there already was an undo tweet feature. It was called you delete the tweet. And does it really matter? Yeah. Because one of the biggest problems with Twitter, and this is a problem, is like when someone says something stupid, for lack of a better word, and they have a lapse of judgment, and we've all had a lapse of judgment on Twitter. That's what makes it so scary. It's like one of the first things people do is they screen capture that tweet, and they screen capture it so that basically if you decide to delete that tweet, they can share it with Twitter for all of eternity. And I don't think an undo tweet feature is in and of itself worth paying for.
No, because it's not going to stop that. I mean, if somebody screenshots it and uploads it, on Facebook or Instagram or whatever, I mean, that's on the internet forever. It's stuck. What you said, people are going to know it for, the rest of your life, unfortunately.
Yep. Nope. Nope. I've been there. I said a couple stupid things once in a while. Someone comes in like, hey, didn't you do this one time? It's like, yeah, I did that 7 years ago. Like, move on. But that's the internet. So, but I think that if Twitter wants to move forward, because I think out of all the companies, Twitter kind of has that reputation for being the least good for society, because major decisions are made based on what's trending on Twitter, which is actually kind of dangerous because Twitter does not have anywhere near enough users to justify real world consequences for what happens there. It's its own little bubble. So I could easily see like, okay, look, you want to tweet, you got to pay to tweet. And once you're paying to tweet, it makes it so that, you can't be anonymous anymore. You have to be held accountable. If you start a rumor and it ends up spreading like crazy, you're partially responsible for that now. So I think Twitter's in a very interesting position. And the real reason they're doing that is because I think their reputation is just getting really sour at this point. We all know Twitter is not a place where decent people go to have arguments. I mean, it is almost impossible to have a civil argument on Twitter. And how many things have trended where regular people have been doxxed and harassed over things that they supposedly did that just a little bit later people found out they really didn't do. So I remember that one time that Roseanne Barr, before her ABC tweet fiasco, and she was told to stay off Twitter for reasons like this. During the George Zimmerman trial, she tweeted out the addresses and phone numbers to George Zimmerman's parents. And, that information spread pretty quickly. And look, I know not everyone's happy with that, with the verdict on that one. I myself have mixed feelings about the verdict, but it's like, don't do that. Don't do things like that. But that's where things like that happen. And I'm wondering if this is like a way for Twitter to try to control that somehow. I don't know. Am I just talking too much, or do you think I might be onto something?
You could be, you could be onto something. It's possible that could. I mean, I guess we won't know until they finally try it out. They'll probably have to do some kind of like a beta version of Twitter Blue and see how it goes, like a test run, because it may help to skid some of that activity in people, spitting out, that type of rhetoric. If there could be easier to track them down and shut them down, or, face, criminal consequences. It may weed some of that out. But then again, I mean, I'm wondering, you might be a little bit more knowledgeable about this than I am, but I would guess maybe if they used a VPN, then they could still, spit, out whatever they want, and it couldn't be tracked to them, or it'd be harder, I guess, to figure out where it's coming from, but still possible, I think.
It would be harder. I mean, it's not, because some people are pretty dedicated to that, but what it would also show is if like something got trending because of, let's say, a few hundred accounts, like, and let's just assume that Russia propaganda is like a thing, and it probably is, but you get like a bunch of bots that are spewing Russia propaganda, and it gets it trending on Twitter. It's like they can say, okay, so where did this start? Okay, it started with these accounts, and all these accounts are being paid for by one person or one company. Well, that's a little weird, isn't it? So now maybe we can at the very least suspend those accounts until we find out, okay, who are you and why are you paying for all of these different Twitter Blue accounts to be spreading this story? I don't know. I think like bigger picture, this isn't about giving new features, because like, a read-only feature, no one cares. Undo tweet option, useless. But as a way to control and monitor maybe people that are giving the site the reputation it has, kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody commented. You have a commenter here. Low roller scratcher. YouTube already put ads on, even if you have less than 1,000. Yeah, I got an email about that. Their updated terms of service that, like, even if you don't have the lucky 1,000 and 4,000 hours of watch time, that they might still throw some ads on your channel, which is very interesting.
Well, that's old news. That actually happened a while ago, and I think the only difference now is that I think people started pointing out, like, hey, wait a minute, are we getting paid for that? And YouTube was kind of like, hold on, like, yes, you will get paid for that if that happens. I think that's what's going on. But yeah, like, YouTube's been putting ads on people with less than 1,000 subscribers for months now. But anyway, I guess the final thing I'll say about this Twitter blue thing. Again, why is it Twitter blue? Twitter's already blue. Like, wouldn't Twitter gold just make so much more sense? Like, this kind of almost, this kind of almost feels like the whole Wii U thing. Like, oh, I recommend you get a Wii U. It's like, well, I already have a Wii. Why would I want another one? It's like, sometimes you really do need to differentiate yourself between the old other product, or else people just get confused. So anyway, folks, the question is, what do you think? Would you personally pay for Twitter Blue? Comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe, and all that jazz.